Evan Khan here for Seconds Out with British heavyweight champion Fabio Wardley. Good to be in your company again, Fabio. Good to see you. Ipswich staying up this season?
Yes. Honestly, I think we'll do it quite comfortably as well. I think we'll be top 15 quite comfortably. I don't think that at any point in the season we'll really be fighting for our lives down in relegation. So I'm just looking forward to the season getting started.
Were you ever a baller?
Yeah, in my younger years, but I wasn't the best. So luckily for me, I found boxing and found my right calling as trying to force a bit of football.
Better a brawler than a baller, and let's get to some of that brawling. First of all, there's always conversation, at least online, about where you're going to land promotionally. What can you tell us about the situation there as to contractually where you lie?
Still completely the same, free agent, still free as a bird, still chatting with everyone about all the options. For me, that's how I like to be. If the right opportunity, the right deal, the right arrangement comes together, then cool. Like, I'm not against it. That's never been how I was. I've never been against signing with anyone. I've just always felt like back to myself and be like, no, I can do it my own way for the time being. But until something is right and sits right in front of me, then we'll just keep doing it this way. It's been working out well so far, so we'll keep it going.
Of the arrangements and options that are on the table, where on the priority list does a rematch with Frazer Clarke sit for you?
It's at the higher end. Yeah, it's at the higher end, but it's not even necessarily at the top. There's a lot of other options out there. Big fights, big money fights out there for me that I can push on and kick on with my career, and I don't have to sit at British level. Like I've been here for a little while now. With the Gorman fight, with the Adelaide fight, and then with the first Frazer fight, that's 3 at British. So there's not too much more for me to really tick off down here. So it could be an opportunity for me to kick on and move into the world scene.
When you say moving on to the world scene, I just heard you on the previous interview, maybe looking around the European level, looking to capture that title. Is that what you'd prefer over that? Like, where does that sit and rank on priority?
Yeah, it's up there as well. I don't really have them necessarily in a line and ordered and ranked. They're just different options that provide different benefits. As long as they sit in the right place in terms of timing and dates and venues and shows. Like, everyone always knows with me, like, I want to be part of a big occasion. I want to be part of a big show, a big fight night. So whenever and wherever they pop up is probably where you'll find me.
With that said, when are you most likely to next be out then?
Not too long. I definitely want to try and squeeze in at least two more this year. So I'm hoping to get going again in the next couple of months, and then not long after that. So it shouldn't be too much of a wait.
Is that enough time to have allowed for your nose to heal? I know that's something that you want to give time to, because it's been a bit of a recurring thing in a couple of last fights. Do you feel you've had enough time to recuperate from that, so it's not much of an issue in the next couple of fights?
Yeah, massively. Yeah, we've had loads of time. We've had more than enough time to rest, recover, sort it out, go over it, have a chat with like doctors and things about it, how best to manage it going forwards. So it's all covered and ticked off.
You had a recent addition in the gym in the form of Moses Atama, who's taken on Marius Vac this weekend. A lot of hype and talk about Moses, and for the most part, when I speak to people in the industry, they feel like the hype is warranted and he really is going to be a real good fighter. Have you had a chance to put the gloves on with him and do a bit of sparring?
I haven't sparred him as of yet. No, we're always, all of us in the gym are open, particularly with our sparring. Obviously, we try and make it opponent related. So I haven't had a southpaw come up as of yet. And as the discussions we've been having about having the Frazer fight and other fights, we haven't really touched on having any southpaw. So we haven't had a chance to spar yet, but we all mix in. So I'm sure sooner or later we'll hop in there together.
The fighter there as well too, Anti Joshua, is taking on Daniel Dubois. Have you had a chance to put on the gloves and spar him as well?
No, not for AJ either. Again, especially AJ, always very particular in who he chooses to spar. Just to make sure it's obviously the best for fight night, relates the best in terms of fighters and skills, and I don't have too many transferable skills that kind of align with Daniel. So no, we haven't. I've hopped in the ring with him before he was with Ben, way before back, but not any time recently.
What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was great. It was a great spar. It was up back when he was still with McCracken. It was up at GB. and we got some good rounds in. It was good, and he's a great guy, and he's a great energy to have in the gym as well, especially with some of the younger lads and the people who are only like kicking on and now not starting out their careers, but still in relatively early days of their careers. To have him there, he offers out little bits of advice to everyone and just keeps it nice and normal.
What do you think Ben Davison will have, if there was one thing he would add it to his game that we'll see differently in the coming fights, what do you think that one thing is that we'll have seen Ben Davison improve of AJ's skill set?
I think it's just double. I think improving is a funny one. I think it's just doubling down on what he already has and what he knows. I think a big thing with Ben is making you realise where your best attributes are and saying, let's focus on these, because these are your top tier areas. So let's double down on these and let's focus on these. And again, a game plan behind you helps you kind of implement that in the fight as well. So I think that's where AJ has drawn a lot of confidence from, is if someone tells you, look, if you do this will be the outcome, and you do it, or when it works, you go, oh, hang on, he knows what he's talking about. It gives you some faith. It gives you an extra boost. So, yeah, I think that's a big thing that AJ's got from Ben and myself as well.
How do you think the fight with Daniel ends?
I think AJ wins. And I think AJ will stop him. When? Who knows? But I think he's big. He's strong. And not to say Daniel isn't at all. But I just think AJ's just slightly sharper. Again, been in the game a little bit longer, a bit more used to the big stage, the big events. So again, not to take away anything from Daniel, he's had some massive fights himself, but just that level of comfort of being sat in that kind of moment, I think AJ will rise to that.
Did you poke a bit of fun with him about the face-off with Daniel Dubois?
No. It's like those things. There's never too much to be taken from those. Like, people say a lot of stuff. Like I've had it myself. People say all sorts in the build-up to fights, and it holds no weight. Once the bell goes and once you're in the ring, it doesn't mean anything. So, and I think AJ's of the same mind. Like, he's not fussed about it at all.
Take a look at this main event. There a lot of talk about kind of where they both stand within the heavyweight landscape. Do you look at these two and say, look, these could be future opponents for myself?
Yeah, look, they could be. Maybe Derek less so, as he's looking obviously to check out sometime soon. But yeah, Joyce potentially, depending. Like this is the thing. When the belts do fragment and everyone wants to have a go at them, it may all line up that we're all kind of jumping at one belt or jumping in the same direction. So we may have to cross paths.
Taking away Derek's claims about where his future might land, stylistically, which one do you think would be the better fight for yourself?
Look, neither of them would be an easy night's work at all. I think Derek, with his come forward style, would probably play into my style a bit better. To be fair though, Joyce walks you down as well, so there's not much honestly, there's not much difference between them. Obviously, a size of Joyce in terms of height and stuff, and his reach and his jab probably lends a bit more to him. But yeah, probably Chisora.
How do you think the fight ends at the weekend?
I really don't know. It's a toss-up for me. It really is, because I think, like I say, I think with this fight, a lot of people have maybe not tried to, but want to try and overcomplicate it a bit, try and add more to it than really needs to be in there. When I really do just think it's going to be two men going in there and getting stuck in. I don't think there's going to be much more to it than that. So whoever comes out on the night is really, I don't want to say a puncher's chance, but look, we're all heavyweights. We can all bang, and if I catch you at the right time, at the right moment, then you're probably going down.
Reflect on the past a little bit. I don't know if you saw the interaction. We were in the mix at the Magnificent Seven. There was an interaction between Sol Dakers and David Adeleye, where it wasn't quite the same interaction between you and David Adeleye. Yeah. But what do you think about those two potentially squaring off, and who do you think would come through that one?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure with that one. It's been delayed. For I don't know. I haven't followed it too much. I don't really know the reasons or whatever was going on. But it's a good fight for the pair of them. They kind of need each other to kick on. You need a name. You need a scalp for for David, obviously after the loss, to come back, and for Sol to really kick on, because he's kind of flying under the radar at the moment. At the minute, he's the kind of, not to be necessarily disrespectful, but kind of the unwanted man. Like, no one's really throwing his name in the pot at all or anything like that when they're talking about like British title fights or big fights coming up or anything like that. So I think they're both at the same point where they need each other, and whoever comes out on the win will be able to kick on and then get their name back in the mix.
Where do you stand with David and obviously the interaction that happened pre-fight? What are you cool with him? Have you fleshed out with him, like, or you're not like on a level with him, I guess?
No, look, we've never spoke since, and there's no real need to. Like, what's done is done, been done, ticked off. Like, it is what it is. That time is done and past, and I've moved on with my career, and so has he.
Fair enough. Fabio, I won't take too much more of your time. I really appreciate you speaking to me in Seconds Out. Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll see you back in the ring very, very soon. Much appreciated.
Cheers, mate.